team. Go just like Hoth. Go just like Hoth. Go just like Hoth. Go just like Hoth. You need to stay off Tatooine if you can. Hey everyone, it's your Perfect HDs. Welcome to this week's episode of Building Hoth Week 38. And guys, this week we got a lot done. Now, I said this multiple times in the previous episodes, but this week we did get a lot done, and I'm quite excited to show you guys. For one, we started changing the trench. As I saw you guys' response, basically you all, for the most part, wanted the white bricks with the grading on top of it. I started working on that. Quite like it, how it looks, much better than the tan. As well as I got some more terrain done. I got another little snow mound built up, as well as a few other things that I'm going to be showing you guys, as well as a big thing. I don't know if you can see kind of behind me yet, but I'm quite excited to show you guys what I got done this week. So let's stop talking and get right into today's episode. Okay guys, so starting off today's episode, I'm going to show you guys an update on the walker parts. So I now officially have all the needed parts for the second walker's head. So this guy will no longer be by himself. So I did get those two orders in, including the order that came with the right size plates. I still can't believe I got the wrong side. But yeah, all the parts for the second head is in here, including, of course, the parts for the neck. So all that's in this little bin. I'm quite excited to start working on it. I think James and I are going to do a little thing sometime next week. But yeah, I just wanted to update that, so I did get those orders in. I do want to point out, underneath, I have my tile bin, and I am running low. And that is because of that area, right there. And I'll come back to that in just one moment. So I am running low on those. I need to make another order. And I just wanted to quickly point out what's going on with the walker situation. I do want to point out also that I ordered today and yesterday all the parts for the panels. I mentioned in last week that was going to be the next chunk. Today I officially finished all the orders, and they should be shipping off by next week. So all this is going to be done, including the other side, of course, which is quite nice. I can't wait to actually start building the second walker and getting that taken care of. So that is pretty much it for the actual parts for the walker. A little bit of work on this side. I kind of took a step back on this side for a little while, but I did kind of add some more filler brick right there. Basically, those are all the bricks that I took up in the trench and switched out with white bricks. But yeah, that's just a little bit what I did. So that's pretty much it for this side. Again, I specifically worked on that side. So let's cut the video and show you guys what's over there. Okay, so this is the area I specifically worked this week. And as you can see, all this tile work. And I want to point out that this area is done with tiles. This is completely done. I don't have to worry about adding any more tiles on this side. I completely finished it. You can actually kind of see where it ends, basically where the next section begins. It just kind of makes a sharp stop. So I didn't start working on that anywhere because of the fact that I didn't want to run out of tiles, because I do want to point out in some of those bricklink orders I mentioned a couple minutes ago, I did order more tiles, more plates, and all that alongside with them, but for the time being, I didn't want to continue onward yet. My estimate how much I've left, I assume I can actually finish that little area, and maybe a little bit more on this side, but this week I wanted to stick on this one side, and I think it looks cool that, of course, it's got the tiling done. Now it just needs those plates to fill in the gaps. But the gaps that were filled in still make it look insanely nice. I can't wait to actually fill this in and fill that in, and the actual terrain just looks fantastic in my opinion. I do want to point out that I did start up a new snow mound right here. It's just a little one. It's about 3 plates high. It's not nothing large like that one right there or that one over there. It's kind of just a small little one. I was putting plates down, tiles over here, and I realized I'm gonna build a little snow mound for just because I want to add quite a few of like these mounds all over the actual terrain, giving it more of a not really a flat terrain area, more of a
somewhat bumpy type of deal. And I quite like it. That is pretty much finished. I have nothing to do with it. That's why I meant it was just kind of a small little mound that I put together quickly. Yeah, all this tiling is completely done. I'm really happy with how it came out. And again, rip my thumbs. They did not like me after I finished this. Before I get to that trench, I do want to point out that in that order I told you that I got those one pieces right at the tip of the funnel or the turret type of deal. I did build it, and the walker head is now officially complete. I know I said the walker was complete, but of course they had that, so I said it was complete even though it was missing the little front turrets. But overall, I really love how it looks now. Yeah, that was just a side thing. I ordered multiple parts for it so I can actually build this one and the second one. So that was it for the little bit of walker. Another thing I spent time on was, of course, switching out the bricks with white bricks, and of course adding grading. And this is how it's looking so far, and I quite like it. I think the spacing between the grates are fine. I don't know. I might end up adding a little bit farther apart. At the moment, it's 2 bricks away from each other. Same as like over here, and I think that looks fine. I don't know. I think it looks great as it does now. I don't know. Let me know in the comments whether I should add it, make them 1 stud, 3 studs apart, or keep it at the same. Because I quite like the 2 studs, and I think it looks great. As you can see, that's kind of where I ended off because I ran out of white bricks. So I was able to build like half of a grate. I do want to point out that in one of the orders, I ordered 100 white bricks. I did count up the 4x4 or 2x4 bricks to make sure I ordered the right amount. It was like estimated around 70 white bricks, but I ordered 100 because of the fact that way I had a couple extras. So that way I know for a fact I can finish this trench, get that taken care of, and if there's any white bricks left over, I can use it for the next section. Yeah, that's taken care of, as well as I ordered like 50 of these because these are the 2x2s. Because as you can see in like some corner areas, like this area right here, it's not the 2x4 bricks. It's used as the 2x2. So I ordered like 50 of them. I don't really need that much. For the most part, I actually have all the parts for the grates. I ordered like 100 of those 1x2 grill pieces. I have enough of these guys already. I've got more somewhere. Then of course the little corner pieces, I have like 50 of them now, and then I ordered I think 50 more or so. So for the most part, I have all the parts for the grading. So whenever I get those orders in, I can actually just tear up these guys and just like fill it in with white bricks, and then of course the grading. And I definitely agree that the grading with the white bricks underneath looks 10 times better than the tan. It's just no competition. So I can't wait to finish that off, and I'm super excited to showcase what it's going to end up looking like all through the trench. As well as after I get all the bricks tear it up and then put the white bricks up, or put the white bricks on with the grates, I'm going to add a couple other extra things in the trench to kind of give it action. Other than figures, I kind of want some piping around it. But yeah, I really like the work on the trench. I know it's not much, but it does add a lot more detail than the tan ones. So that's, again, as you can see, this is kind of where I spent this week's episode. I know it doesn't seem like an awful much, but for the most part, like starting from right there. Well, actually, no. On this section, I started from right this little way, because you guys saw last week that this is where I ended off. So all of that and that little bit right there, as well as behind that, was all done this week, as well as that trench. So I'd say there's a lot done, as well as a little, I'll give a little teaser right there for that little guy, but I don't want to spend too much time talking about that because that's going to be its own episode. So as you can see, there was a lot done this week. Now there's one other thing that I'm going to be showing in just a second that I'm quite excited to show. It isn't actually technically built out of Lego, but it's going to be used for the third part of this MOC. As you can see, there's one section, two section. There's going to be a third section for echo bass. So I'm going to show you guys that right now. Okay, so for this final part of today's episode, I wanted to show you guys this. So as you can see a brand new table and brand new base plates, as well as that little battle pack up there, but I ain't gonna pay attention to that. So as you can see, all that's going to be the table for the third section, and that is going to be the base plates for the third section. I've officially bought everything, or at least everything to start off echo bass. I picked them up the other day. The reason why, if you're curious why I did so and why I didn't just use some of the money I spent on this for the walker, the reason why is I really wanted to get these in hand. I was at Walmart the other day and I realized, I'm like, okay, I need to buy another table. I need to buy 8 more base plates. I need to get these for this next section, and I don't want to wait too long because of the fact that my goal is to start echo bass in like the beginning of March. That's my goal. Hopefully it'll stick to it. I don't know. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But my goal is to start it up in March. And I was like, okay, if I want to start in March, I need to have these things ready to go when March hits. So I ended up at Walmart. I price checked. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to buy it today, get it taken care of. And that way, when March hits, I can officially just set it up and go right at it. So I bought the table and the base plates. It was like $130 something. I know if you're curious, why would I spend $134 on base plates and a table? Honestly, it is 8 base plates, and Walmart had it for $12 each, and of course the table was like $40 something. When I got these two, they were only like $30 something, and it looks like they upped the price, but no big deal. That way, I'm just happy I have this taken care of, and whenever March hits, I can actually set it up and add it to this guy right here. So I know I've said March is the goal to start echo bass. If you're curious why March, or how I'm going to actually set this up, the reason why I want to start in March is because that gives me between March and June. If you didn't know, June is Brick World Chicago, June 15th through the 16th, and I'm wanting to take this no matter what this is going. I know for a fact that this is all going to be covered by June. I can guarantee that. So no matter what, the Battle of Hoth is going. Echo Bass, though, is going to have a lot of things going on in it. You've got all the lights, you have all the hangers, you have all these special things, you have the mountains, all that work. That's going to take quite a while, or not, I don't want to say quite a while because I want to try to go through it as soon as possible. But basically, it's going to take a decent amount of time. And so I want to spend the time between March and June working on echo bass. So I'm hoping the goal is going to be the first segment in March is going to be starting up echo bass. And I do want to point out, and I've said this multiple times, that this area does not have to be completely 100% complete. So if there's still some tiling work like in that little area or this little area or anything like that, that will be added while working on this, because I don't want this to be 100% complete when I start this, because of the fact that I know it kind of will set me back because of the fact that, okay, I need to get all these different things finished, and then after this is finished, what little time I have left is going to go for that, and I know I'm going to be stressed out. So even if the tile work's not done, or the walker's not officially in place type of deal, that isn't going to be the biggest deal. Trust me, it will get done, of course, but a lot of my attention is going to try and go for this, whereas this is almost done, so I can spend a little attention to this and more attention to that. Now, if you're curious how I'm actually going to situate this, because I don't know if you can really notice, but my room's kind of small. Well, not really small, but isn't the biggest room. And I had to add another table, which is going to go about, well, actually almost to where it is right now. In length type of deal. So it's adding that, and then another table right here, which is going to be interesting to work around. Now, if you're curious how I'm going to go about it, is I know I was talking to some friends and they're like, oh, well, just take that off and then push this to the back and build it on this table. That way you don't have to get a third table, or you don't have to worry about space issues. Well, the reason why I don't really want to do that is because of the fact that that means I have to take all that off and set it on the floor, or set it somewhere, or just like take it off and put it on the table until that week's until I work on it. I don't like that idea because of the fact that, well, one, I'm always moving it, and it always has to be in a place. And of course, I can't do it for this section because the walker's going to be there, and I don't want to topple it over. So, plus, if I do it this way, the way I'm going to do it, which I'll say in a second, I can actually make sure that everything adds up correctly. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm kind of going to do a little switcheroo. So basically, that's on the back wall. This is right here, and then the third table is going to go right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this around, this section right here, put it to the back, so I'm going to have to take this off, push this to the back, and put the trench, turn it around, of course, and place it right here on this table. So kind of do a flip-flop. And it isn't going to be like the walker still facing the wall. The walker is actually going to be facing this way, directly at the camera. And then the trench is going to be facing like that way towards the battlefield. And Echo Base is actually going to sit right here. Now, if you're curious, why don't I just move this guy's back, put this on the new table, that on this table, and then work on that. Because of the fact that I'm going to have to be, completely, each week I'd have to, lean over it. And I don't think that's going to be the greatest idea because of the fact that I don't really lean when I do it, but I have to lean a little bit forward to actually put the stuff right there. So I don't think it's going to be easy actually building a mountain or stuff like that, and not having, being able to get behind that. Whereas if I work on Echo Base like right here, everything's facing that way, and I can actually have plenty of room to work on, kind of like how it is right now. So I did want to point that out. I've got a few more weeks before I can actually start Echo Base, but I did want to point out that I did get the table and the base plates. That way I'm ready to go. Again, I already have a box of parts that are going to kind of get me started for Echo Base. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to do it. I've got a few ideas, and I'm quite excited to showcase it. But yeah, that's this week's episode of Hoth. Give you a back look of it. I think it's coming along greatly. I really, really love how it looks at the moment. Except that if you got all this nice looking stuff, and then you turn to the right, and it's just this lime green patch. I can't wait to get that covered. So I think that's going to be it. Hope you all enjoyed this week's episode of Building Hoth, and I'm going to end off the video. Okay, so to summarize this week's episode, like I said in the beginning, we got a lot done. What mostly I do want to talk about, like I mentioned in that, is I'm quite excited to actually get Echo Base started. Again, if you're curious why I want to spend all that time, working on Echo Base, is because of the fact that there's a lot of things that I need to get done in that section. So I'm trying to get this section kind of completed as soon as possible, as that way I can actually get started working on that section. So I have all the time in the world to actually work on that, and if something goes wrong, I have that extra bit of time to situate something, like say with the mountains or the light work type of deal like that. So that's why I'm trying to hurry and get started on Echo Base. I don't want to go too fast because of the fact that I don't want to make a mistake on the actual battlefield. But to the point where, as you can see, I'm ordering like a bunch of chunks of parts for the walker. Instead of buying one thing at a time, I'm buying a whole thing at a time. I bought all the parts for the head all at once. I bought all the panels for the body all at once. Next, I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do for the next part of the walker, Basically, I'm either going to buy all the legs or buy all the feet. I assume the feet is probably going to be the cheapest thing, because that's 4 feet. Yeah, I'm trying to buy chunks in the all at once. That way, when I actually start working on it, I've got everything necessary to build it. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for the Echo Base talk. I do want to point out that next week's segment is probably going to be that little teaser I showed earlier in the episode. I'm hoping to get it done. You guys probably can tell when I showed you guys on camera. You probably can tell what it was. But I'm going to try to fix it. I was going to show it in this week's episode, but I didn't get it complete in time. So I'm going to wait till next week's episode. So I think that's going to be it. Hope you all enjoyed this week's episode. If you did, definitely smash that like button. As well as if you're out new to this channel, definitely subscribe. We got some awesome Hoth episodes coming along. And let me know in the comment section what you think of this week's episode. And I'll see you guys in next week's episode.